Good morning. I can never tell exactly when this starts. When it says going live, and then um, I guess it does go live, but I'm never exactly sure when that is. So, who knows? Hopefully, y'all can see me and everything's good. Morning, Dora. Morning, Susan. Is it foggy? Yeah, it looks pretty overcast here. Um, Probably going to get some rain by the end of it. Um, I was just thinking about my deck. We haven't put any of the decking on, so that's all still in the garage, which is good to keep it out of the rain. But I didn't really think about uh, what it would be to have just like the frame of a deck sticking off the back of my house. Um, it's just low, but it's still, maybe 12 inches or 14 inches up off the ground. And uh, at first, it was no problem for us to just walk out there. You sort of hop down um, from the porch. There's like sort of a back porch, and then you walk out. And the dog too didn't have any trouble with it. She just jumped out. But as we put more and more of the joists in, the spaces got smaller. And of course, she doesn't want to jump down in there, so she just stands there and looks at it. And I'm not sure when I'm going to get the decking on. I might get some done this week, but I usually save the big, heavy work for the weekends when I have some help. So until then, I had to bring some wood and different things to sort of cover it up so that my dog will walk on it. And I think she's okay with it now, but I'm not really sure. She's pretty spry, but it reminded me of when she was down in the frame. It was like when we had a small dog or smaller dog, and he was young. We had a big snowstorm, and he was just stuck up to his chest, and he would try to hop and jump, but he'd of course land right back down in the snowbank. So you had to dig a path for him. So I probably could have laid some wood out on top, and he could have walked on that too. It would have been all right. But yeah, it's funny how you get used to doing things a certain way, and then you don't really think about how what you've changed is going to change everything else, right? And that's a good sort of thing to talk about, the idea of how everything is interconnected, right? So when you make a change, we frequently don't think about the effects that that's going to have on everything around us, our routine, um, how we do things, but then also how is that going to affect other people? My daughter has been away, staying in a friend's house for a couple of weeks, and she came home last night and just walked around the house looking at everything and saying, well, when do we get this? What's this? And she just about, I had to holler at her as she went out the back, watch out for the deck. She didn't even know we were doing it. So, yeah, everybody around you may react differently to the things that you've done, right? So part of working through yoga and doing these things means that things are going to change. Things change anyway, but hopefully, we're directing some of that change in a positive way. That doesn't mean everyone around you is going to take that positively. Some people may not be too thrilled by it. Good morning, Barbara. Especially if some of your changes affect them, either, what you will and won't do for them or for yourself anymore. Um, at the most extreme, I don't think any of us are doing this, but so Ashtanga yoga practice is a very sort of strict form of yoga, and uh, they do a very long series of poses. They traditionally do it 6 days a week, um, preferably in the early morning, somewhere between like 4 and 6 in the morning, which means, you have to get to bed by like 9. Um, and they do have a very sort of strict uh, set of rules that you are following in terms of your diet, sleep, all of this. So you can imagine someone following that path would have a very different sort of social life than someone who is able to stay up till much later and do more things. Um, and that can have certainly an effect on the people around you. So be aware of that. Um, and a lot of times I think we don't take that into account. And so then we're surprised and maybe sort of irritated that other people are going to have an opinion or um, feel one way or another about these things that we are really doing for ourselves. But it is important to remember, right, that we are part of a group. We are one, right? Um, Another thing you can find when you are making positive changes for yourself is that other people um, don't always take that as a simple thing. They actually start feeling judged by that, thinking, why are you doing this, right? Like I know I should probably be doing this too, but I'm not. So instead, I'm going to criticize what you're doing. So just know that that's what that is. It's not something you need to worry about. It's certainly not something you need to pay a lot of attention to. You don't need to correct them, right? You don't need to point out that they are just being kind of a jerk. They can just figure that out on their own. What we do is up to us. How other people perceive that is up to them. And we can't control that. We shouldn't try to control that. That is their thing to sort through, not ours. So understand that your changes may be difficult for other people to accept, but they will get used to it. Um, it may be difficult for you to remember, right? I keep forgetting. I keep going out to go out the back door and I want to step down. And when I come in, I want to reach up for the handle. So we're very conditioned by long term behavior. And it takes time to change that. So when you are sort of on this path of doing things differently, if you fall off and you start doing things the old way, don't worry about it. Just get right back to it. We do, we sort of wear these grooves. We call them Samskara, right? They have a word for that in yoga philosophy. And Samskara is like the grooves that we wear in, let's say, a path. So my dog, Daisy, is a greyhound and she was a race dog. So we have kind of a big side yard, and she has developed this racing ring for herself where she runs either a big oval or she'll do like a figure 8 around the garden on one side and the garden on the other side. So she's worn this path, where and if, she's getting a little older now, so she doesn't do it as much, but when she first came here, she would dig the mud, and there was a mud path that you could see from out the window. Um, that is literally, we've done that internally with some of our behaviors, and we need to be like Daisy and slow down on that path, right? Or, look out the window and notice, oh my gosh, look at what I've done. No wonder I keep wanting to slip back into that comfortable path. Um, we just need to slow that down, take a different path. Um, and again, eventually, where um, that sort of develop that, it won't be a samskara because it's a different kind of thing, but we will again sort of develop habits with that. And then that will become easier, right? So just notice that it's going to be hard. Um, and don't feel like you failed or you're not doing things right if it feels difficult some days. You are. If it's not feeling difficult, then you're probably not uh, really stepping out of your comfort area. And that's something too, right? Sometimes we aren't ready to make that bigger change. And that's okay. Maybe we take it smaller changes, one step at a time. Those are often more sustainable anyway. So whatever pace you're working at is fine. Um, so I want to. We can talk more about this. This is an interesting topic. This idea of change and the pace at which we can change. Um, but we're gonna do that another day. So we're gonna get going on some yoga. So we're just gonna work into some asana, and I think we're just gonna do asana today, and then maybe we'll do some meditation at the end because I like that. But I didn't do that yesterday because we did all the yoga nidra. But I'd like to do more yoga nidra. I think maybe we'll try to do that once a week. I think it's very helpful. I think it's a way to reinforce a lot of the things that we work on with meditation. And it's just more time to kind of practice that. I notice that if I don't get some of that stuff in, get the meditation in early, it's so easy to kind of push that off. The rest of the day gets so hurried. And in spite of how little we're really doing, we feel very rushed. In fact, yesterday I had to go to the store and Home Depot and then get home in time to take the dog to the vet. And it was really stressful. I think I've forgotten how to manage my time. I forgot how long it takes to do these things. So I was rushing and rushing, and uh, it was kind of tough. So um, again, right? We change. It's been months since I had to do three things all together, and I kind of didn't do such a hot job of it. So um, that's okay, right? Um, Again, we've changed. Everything has changed. It's been months. So if it takes us a little time to get back into the swing of things, we're not going to worry about it. We'll just go one step at a time. I have my weird swimsuit yoga pants on today. I can tell they're different because when I slide back, there's a different sound. It's kind of weird. All right, so sitting up, relax the shoulders and breathe. Breath in and then chin down toward the chest. Head hangs down. Back up and then lift the chin. Head back to center, lower the head over to the right. Relax the shoulders. Back up and moving left. And back up to center. Lean forward a bit and then moving around. One way and the other. Back up to your seat. Arms wide. Deep breath in. Exhale. Hands together. Inhale wide. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. One more. Bring the arms wide. And then let's bring the arms up overhead. Gazing up. Arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower down. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Lifting up. And then right hand down by your side. Reach across. Switch sides. And then back up. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And forward. Left hand on right knee. Set the right hand behind you, sit up tall. Take a twist. Back to center. Switching sides, breath in. Twist. Back to center. Walk the hands out. And then bring the hands by your side. We're going to have the fingertips pointing towards you, right? So not away, but towards you. Leaning back a little. Gaze up. And then back up to your seat. Tabletop. Let's move through cat-cow for a few sets. Inhales and exhales. And then coming back on your heels. Back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Walk it out a little. Step the feet up to the hands. You're going to fold for a few breaths. Rising up. Standing tall in your mountain. Breath in and out. Inhale, lift, arms high. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, we're stepping back with the right. Drop the knee, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Stepping back to downward dog. Inhale, high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, we're lifting up head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Once more. Lift. And lower. Moving back up. Tabletop to downward dog. Take one more breath. Then right foot steps up. Drop the knee. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up. Fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift high. Back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, left foot steps back. Drop your knee. Arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Step back. Downward dog. Inhale, high plank. Then lower down. Inhale, lift, head and chest. Lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Inhale, lift. And lower. Moving up. Tabletop to downward dog. One more breath. Left foot steps up. Drop the knee on the right, arms overhead. And then hands down to the mat. Step the back foot up. fold forward. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Lifting as you inhale, and then back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Let's step out here. So we're facing the side of the mat. Legs are wide. Hands at the waist. Deep breath. Lean forward. Hands can come down onto the legs, onto the floor or a block. Whatever you want. Breathe. Bring hands back to the waist. We're engaging the thighs, lifting up. Take a breath, maybe bring the arms up overhead. And then hands by your side. Turn to face the front. Right foot out, left foot back. Have one foot on either side of the mat so you've got some space here. Hands behind, interlace the fingers. Draw the shoulders back. Take a breath and then fold. Let's leave the hands behind. Come on up about halfway. We're shifting the weight over that right foot so that we don't really need that back foot, and then we'll lift up. So you can just lift a little if you're feeling kind of unstable with this. You can then touch the foot back down. Whatever works. We're just experimenting with the balance. And then set the foot down. We'll come back up to stand. Back foot meets the front. Arms overhead. Back to mountain. Take a breath. And then stepping out. So we're facing the side of the mat. Hands at the waist again. Take a breath. Fold forward. Hands come down to the mat or to the feet. You could walk the hands back, kind of pulling the body forward. Up to you, whatever you feel like today. Just keep breathing that slow, even breath through the nose. In, back out through the nose. And then we're going to bring the right hand to center. So you might be on the floor or on a block, or if you are up here, that's fine. You could bring hands to the waist. We're just going to do a twist. So inhale, lengthening, and then twisting to the left. Maybe extend that left arm. Back to center. Switch hands. Inhale, exhale, twist. back to center. Bring both hands to the waist. Engage the thighs. Use that strength in the legs. Lifting back up. Breath in and out. Facing front of the mat again. This time left foot is out, right foot back. Interlace the fingers. Shoulders back. Breath in and fold. Coming up about halfway. Shifting over onto the left side. So the right foot is not so necessary. And then working on lifting. And breathe. So if this is hard, don't worry about it. Just do what you can. Some days, balance is not the easiest thing. And then set the foot back down. Back foot meets the front. We're rising up. Arms overhead. Back to mountain. Take a breath. And let's continue with balance. Standing on the right foot. Nope, standing on the left foot. We'll start with the left. I don't know why I want to keep doing that with tree. So we're on the left. We've got kickstand here or calf or higher than the calf. Your choice. Knee rotates out to the side. Steady with hands together or maybe extended. And then set it down. Switch sides. Focusing the gaze and then set it down. Bicycle legs. And let's do these little feet exercises, just so we don't forget how to do them. So first we're coming up on the feet, the balls of the feet, whatever you want to do. First is just to lift up the heels. Maybe that's enough, right? It really depends how flexible your feet are, how strong your feet feel today. If you can do more, then we're coming up onto the balls of the feet. Even more, you might come up higher, so you're really just more on the toes than the balls of the feet. It's a little harder. So a lot of three choices and then levels in between where you're kind of halfway, one or the other. And you could also move through this, right? So you could start here, move up, and then lower right back down. Lots of options, right? So we're trying to build that flexibility and balance, but also the strength in the feet. And then set the feet back down. We're going to roll the ankles a little bit, so we're on the outer part of the feet. So the ankles are definitely rolling, but if you see my knees are also moving. right? So you don't want to hold the knees and try to do this all with the ankles. Allow the legs themselves to move outward a little bit. Gives you more stability. And we're not, putting that much stress on the ankle joint, which we don't want to do. And then the same thing, we're curving inward, but for this you might want to step a little wider so that, again, see the knees are sort of moving together. We want to be able to do that. If the feet are really close, that's not going to happen. So if this feels awkward, and you don't really feel like you're getting a lot of lift, just try pressing the big toe into the ground and lift as much as you can. So the more you do this, the better you'll get at this. At first, you probably won't feel like much is happening at all. And then set the foot down. So if you ever get like a foot cramp when you're doing this, just set the foot back down and bicycle the legs out a little bit. Try to relax the feet. And then we're going to come up on the heels. So again, you might not be all the way up there. Maybe you just lift the front part of the feet. So the balls of the feet are lifted. That's pretty good. If you're all the way up on the heels, it may be hard to stay still. So you might need to move around a little bit. That's fine. And set the feet down. So those little foot exercises, foot and ankle and everything, are great. You can do them anytime. You could do them when you're standing around waiting for something. You could do them if you're sitting and watching TV, right? You could, even if you're sitting, you could work on that flexibility, right? Do the side to side. You can do that seated. You don't have to be standing. Standing is going to help you with the balance, but just working through that flexibility is great. That's one part of it. So the more you do with that, the better everything else will go too. Come on back up, top of the mat. Lift the arms. Deep breath in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lifting to a flat back. Exhale, stepping back to downward dog. Inhale, forward to high plank. And then lower down. Head turns right. Arms by your side. Head to center. We're lifting up, head and chest. Palms are resting on the mat. And then we're going to lift the legs also. And the arms. Breathe. Lower down. Head turns left. Head back to center. Pressing up. Tabletop to downward dog. Or you could go to downward dog, but I'm going to go to child's pose. And now I'm going to go to downward dog. Step your feet up. Sitting down on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Deep breath in. And then fold forward. Moving back up, both legs out in front. Take a deep breath, arms overhead. Fold on your exhale. Moving back up. We're going to bend the knees. The left leg is going to be under, the knee pointing outward. Cross that right leg over as much as possible, right? Some days this feels easier than others. And then we're getting a hold of each foot with your hands. Take a breath, folding over. Moving back up. We're going to switch how we do that. So the opposite thing. Right leg is under, left leg on top. Get yourself set up here and then breath in, folding over. Back up. And let's extend the legs out. Deep breath in, fold forward. And walk your hands back up. Bend the knees, soles of the feet to the mat. Make sure you've got some room behind you. Lowering down or rocking back. Take a moment or two to get comfortable here. And then we've got knees bent, soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to bring right ankle up on top of left knee. You might be staying here, or you might draw that left thigh in, keeping the head and the shoulders relaxed on the mat. So the thing to remember here is that we're trying to bring this leg in toward the body, not the body up toward the leg. Right? So if you feel like you can't bring this leg in, you're probably better off staying here and pressing the knee away, right? Sometimes we have to lift a little to grab a hold of the leg, and that's fine as long as you can settle down at the end. You're not struggling to stay up by the leg. And then set the foot down. We're going to leave that right ankle up on top of the left knee. Arms to a T or goalpost arms. We're lowering the left knee down. The right foot is going along with you for a twist. And then moving back up. Switch your legs. And then however you want to do this side. Generally speaking, we're going to do, both sides the same, unless you have, some really specific injury or something that means that you really need to do the sides differently. Short term, that's fine. Long term, you're better off just working to whichever the less strong side is, right? Trying to build that side up rather than work really hard on the flexible and the strong side and get that even more uneven, right? And set the foot down. Keep the left foot up on the knee. Goalpost arms or arms to a T, and then lowering the right knee down. So we're always trying to work towards a balance in the practice. And it can be hard because if we do have a strong imbalance from one side to the next, we want to work on that side that feels easier, that feels stronger, that makes us feel like, hey, we really got that pose. But that's not the side that needs your attention, right? It's the one that is having a little trouble. We want to give a little more attention there. And then back up to center. Rest both feet on the mat. Let's bump the knees together and then just have the feet to the outer edges of the mat. Relax. Getting ready for bridge. We've got feet about hip width apart. Walk the heels back close toward the body. Hands by your side. Palms rest on the mat. And then we're going to press down, hands and feet, lifting up the hips. lowering down, soles of the feet together, knees apart. Maybe bring the arms up so the hands are over the head. And breathe. And then bring the knees to center, hug them into the chest, rock a little side to side. Extend the legs, long, hands by your side. And then lowering however you want to get there. And we're just going to lay on the mat now, relax. Steady with the breath. Eyes are closed, relaxing, letting everything just rest here. So in all things, we are changing. There is no way to stay still. We can either improve or we can sort of deteriorate, right? It's our choice which way we want to go with that. But we can't hold on to the present. We can't stay right where we are. But that's right, maybe that's the bad news, that we can't stay in this place where we feel comfortable. But the good news is we have every day an opportunity to do better, to live our truth in a more complete way. So if we make mistakes today, we can do better tomorrow. And it is the weight of the tomorrows that become our future. So don't ever feel like the future is out of your control. It's entirely within your control. Maybe not all of the events, but how you approach the events, how prepared you are for what comes next. All of the things we do are designed really for one purpose, which is to make your life better, to allow you more ease and more comfort in your relationships, in your work, in your activities, in your mind, your spirit, your heart. every day we can affect a little change in those directions. And every day we have a new opportunity to do so. So if today feels like a wash, you've got tomorrow. Moving a bit now, fingers and toes, hands and feet. Maybe stretching a bit. And then making your way up to a seat. We'll bring hands together. Deep breath in and out. Thank you for taking time today for yoga, for coming to your mat, and for sharing with all of us here. I hope you have a great day. Namaste. Thank you for coming to yoga. I'm going to move right into some meditation. If you want to join me. I've been doing meditation with a couple of groups on the Zoom, and it's really good. I enjoy it. There's something kind of great about doing meditation, even virtually, with a group of people. I think, anyway. All right, so getting comfortable. If you want to be in a chair or on a cushion, I'm going to be on a cushion. Sitting up tall, relaxed. Eyes are closed. Breathe. Yesterday in Yoga Nidra, we were kind of touching on that idea of that space. Either in different people say it differently. Some people say in front of the eyes. Some people say behind the eyes, right? So it's really just a matter of what feels comfortable for you, where your mental picture is. But we're focusing on that blank space, that space in between the thoughts and the images that pass through. So breathe. Opening your eyes when you're ready. Take a couple of deep breaths in and out. Okay. And there you go. You have some meditation for the day. All right. Well, enjoy your Tuesday. I will not be here tomorrow. I have my class again. I wonder if this is the last one. I'll have to look. It might be, but I'll let you know if it is. But I'll be back on Thursday. So enjoy the next couple of days.